Your Excellency, as the Ambassador to Nepal, what has been your major achievements, and if any, are there any regrets?
I think as I look back on my 2 years here, certainly it's been a period in which there's been nearly constant change in Nepal, and so helping the U.S. Embassy react to that and to hopefully providing some assistance to the Nepali leaders who had to live through this and try to adapt. Looking back over the contribution the United States made to the elections, I think is a very key one. We were very pleased to provide the ballot papers, which was a critical element, but as well as some technical expertise to the Election Commission. I think that is a key one. The ongoing projects that don't receive so much attention, but which perhaps are going to save the lives of thousands of Nepali babies and mothers are very, very important to me. I hope that the efforts that we've made to help the women become very effective members in the Constituent Assembly will have long-lasting effect, not only on their actions in this interim government, but on their participation in the future in politics and encouraging other women to be involved. And I hope those are key areas. The interest that I've personally shown in trafficking, I hope will help others take an interest in this issue and to find the solutions to what are truly harrowing tales for these young women that need to end and to find other opportunities for them. My regrets are not seeing nearly as much of Nepal as I had hoped. This is my second time of saying that, but I got to a few more places than I did the first time I was here. But the good news is it means I will come back because there are still places I want to see and things I want to do in Nepal. But I'm also very, very proud of our embassy team. I think during the last 2 years we've put a very big emphasis on trying to make sure that we work as one, not just each agency that represents a piece of the U.S. government, but that we are truly reinforcing each other, and I think that has made our programs more effective. So inside the embassy, I hope that there's also been some changes. The third leg of any American ambassador's focus, the host country, our bilateral relations and our assistance programs, but there's also the American community here, and we've made a real effort to reach out to the American community, whether they are people who have stayed here 40 and 50 years or whether they are the people that are coming here as tourists, but to make them feel that they are welcomed by the Americans that are here and to provide the services they need. So it's been a very, very exciting tour for me, and I'm very, very pleased to have completed the 2 years.
How long will you hold the position of Director General at the Department of State, and what after that?
The position I'm going into is one where you serve like an ambassador at the pleasure of the President and the Secretary of State. So I would not anticipate serving more than 3 years in that position because I will face mandatory retirement at that point. But it could be shorter if the Secretary Clinton or President Obama decided they wanted me to do something else or wanted someone else in my job. But that is typical of ambassadors as well.
Do you have any plans to enter politics after retiring from foreign services?
Before joining the Foreign Service, I was active in local politics just as a supporter. I was active in being a vote counter and a vote watcher, and I would look forward to going back to that, but certainly not into elected politics. But being active in the debate, particularly on foreign policy issues, on looking at how we can continue to expand our assistance programs and make them more effective. So those are areas where I think I could contribute to the debate in the United States.
The world's richest individuals like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett have given their life's earning to charity. Celebrities like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie contributes enough time and effort to humanitarian cause. Can you briefly explain the American culture of philanthropy, which the world finds very intriguing?
I also have tried to look at this because I think as I've served in South Asia in 4 of the countries, I've always been impressed at the individual acts of charity and concern for fellow citizens that South Asians have shown. But I think maybe the difference with Americans may be, number one, the amounts of money that are given, but also we've made it perhaps a bit more of a corporate culture in that we have supported large NGOs that are able to be worldwide in their focus. We have had individuals like the Gates and Buffett's, who have established foundations that have truly tried to shake up the usual way things are done and to insist on a very fine focus on HIV/AIDS, on childhood infections, and really bring the best of corporate culture to trying to ensure that these programs are effective. And I think those are key areas, but certainly philanthropy is not unique to America, but I think we go about it looking for that American bottom line of where is the action, where is the effect, and trying to make sure that people really do receive the results of the money that's put into it. I think it also has gone down to not only these very wealthy individuals, but for example, every federal employee has the opportunity every year to make a pledge of a certain amount of their salary, if they so choose, to something like 3,000 or 4,000 different organizations. There are churches that are very, very active, particularly in working with the poor in the United States, working with international programs, and those continue, but they're not that different from individual acts of kindness and concern here in South Asia.
You've been a teacher in the past. These days, not many youngsters aim to be a teacher. How important is it that we have dedicated teachers who can raise a generation who understands global responsibility? I
am a firm believer that the teachers are the molders, along with parents. It is very, very important to have parents who are engaged and able to help their children, but teachers bring the broader world, and I would hope that it's a field that not only in Nepal and the United States, but around the world, we would attract the best and the brightest. Certainly in my own country, we are working to try and reinvigorate the teaching profession and make it much more relevant for our, particularly our inner city schools where the quality of education has gone down. I remain very concerned when I hear in Nepal that teachers take jobs, they receive salaries, and then they don't go to their schools. And the young people who are in those schools do not have the benefit of an education that's going to be their ticket for a better future. I am very, very impressed with the sacrifices that are made by Nepali parents to try to overwhelm the problems that they see in public education in the government schools by either providing tuition for their students or getting them into a private school. And they're making sincere sacrifices. So I think hopefully those sacrifices will be reflected in some career decisions by young people to go into teaching. Looking at in my own government, I would hope that at some point we can bring back the Peace Corps to Nepal. Peace Corps had a tradition here for a long, long time of providing schools in very remote areas where it was hard to attract other people to come. And I hope we can return to that it will soon be safe enough in Nepal that the government will welcome them back and we will feel that they can come back. I'm always reminded of a quotation from perhaps one of our most famous teachers. It was a teacher who was chosen to go up in the space shuttle and lost her life in that endeavor. But she used to say, "I touch the future, I teach." And I would hope that teachers in Nepal would see that as a truly important goal and continue their dedication to the young people of Nepal.
Let us hope that someday we are able to raise a new generation who has more tolerance, harmony, and compassion, and they're able to create a better world. With this hope, I wish you good luck and goodbye. See you next week, the same time. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being